They squashed that.
But you know what?
Especially have to do the right thing.
No, but the quirkiness continued. And that's what I love about your films.
The quirkiness, but they stopped.
The consistency of the quirkiness is amazing. Because when you flip it on something like a Malcolm X, you know, it just becomes a whole different thing, but all the while still utilizing like the vehicle of all things and the process of Spike Lee just totally transforms that.
Well, look, you know this. So I don't have to tell you this, so this is really for the people who are watching. What you and I and people, not just musicians or filmmakers, whatever you do, if you love what you do, you're blessed. And I speak at many colleges and universities. I always say this, I always try to get this to young minds to listen to this. Because so many of our young people are choosing majors and choosing a path of life that's a road to destruction because they're basing it solely on how much money can I make.
Yeah.
What motherfucking majors can make me the most motherfucking money?
That's right.
And you end up miserable.
For the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Billionaires that are miserable.
Blowing their brains out. So we're blessed because we would do what we're doing for free.
That's
because the key is find something that you love, because you love something. It's not a job.
You're no longer working.
You're not working. Now, if you have a motherfucking job you hate, they need a crane to get your ass out of the bed.
That's right. But with us, you can't pull us out of where we are.
Because, man, how long you stay in the studio consecutively? How many hours?
Man, somewhere between 8 and 10 hours.
There you go.
There's been times where it's 14.
When we're shooting days, our calls usually at 6 o'clock. You know, to this day, there's only one really tired, but most of the time I don't need an alarm clock. Boom! I'm ready to go.
That's crazy.
I'm excited.
My time like that is like 9 a.m. for me. I would just wake up right on 9 a.m.
Yeah.
It's a little crazy.
Are you more creative in the morning or night?
You know what's so funny?
You musicians be hanging out late. I can't hang with you guys.
I think I'm a little bit different in that sense. I want to go home at 11, 12 o'clock. I write the best on planes, in the shower, in the studio as well, but because I feel like...
Planes are good for me writing too.
Sensory deprivation.
New York, LA, 5 hours, only get interrupted for the meal, headphones on, just writing.
Yeah.
Get the window seat.
Yeah.
Get the work done. Because that's what's about, the work.
But the early morning for me is scary how good it is. It just puts you in a crazy headspace. I don't know what it is, what it fatigue or...
That's the muse when it visits. But you gotta be open to it. You know, a lot of times people aren't open to it, then
well, let's talk about that.
Happen.
Let's talk about that, because that's a subject that I'm obsessed with. You know, tapping into the subconscious.
Here's the thing though, Stevie Wonder hates me. You know why? Because every time I see him, I ask him about a record. The interlude, Live for the City.
Right.
Well, I want to know how did it happen?
Right.
Where did it come from?
Yeah, we can never answer that. We can tell you how it happened.
A lot of times they just say, it just came.
Yeah. Well, I say to like the youth all the time, like I consider myself a straw. We're vessels.
Right.
I don't have to, I know the creative juice comes from somewhere else. But at the same time, I'm just happy to be in the glass. I ain't got to be the coldest piece of ice in there. The straw is just fine for me. So we say the straw.
Now, how long you been in this game? It's tough business of music.
About 20 years, maybe.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, a whole lot of people fell off.
Didn't have to, but I mean, there is an order in existence. There's an order. That's the thing about people who cater to their artistic inclinations, because I think everybody's artistically inclined in some way. But those who tune into and give...
But can I just say real quick, not to cut you off?
Sure.
And this is why I say when I speak to students, parents kill more dreams than anybody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So a lot of times, what you just said is true. People are born with these gifts, but they're not nourished.
That's right.
Or encouraged by their parents. It just withers like on the vine, dead. And then these people grow up miserable.
Because they have no purpose.
Have no purpose, and their parents are pushed, whether they want to be a finance, you know, or a banker, or a lawyer, whatever it is, and that's not what was in the child's heart.
Right.
Dream killers, and that's horrible.
I feel like as you're talking, it's like you're writing a treatment. It's like you're writing a script. It's awesome. It's just awesome the way you see it, you know?
Well, look, there are many forms of art. Whether, we could pick some, you could be a sculptor, a painter. In my pantheon, and this is my opinion, there are no greater artists than musicians, for me. Because I think musicians are the closest to God. I will take a great musician over any other great artist in any other art form, for me.
You said musicians are the closest to God, not to become all religious, but, and
I'm talking about the highest of the high.
Yeah, right after that, God, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm not saying that that's necessarily the truth, but I was just gonna say that, like, I know that, like, the highest of all angels was Satan, and he was in charge of music, just so you know.
Well, there is some devil in some types of music, and a lot of times people said that jazz was a devil's music.
Yeah. But I don't agree with that.
I mean, we've had so many artists who were torn, who grew up in the church.
Yeah.
But with Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, Curtis Mayfield, Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
Who even Marvin Gaye to his demise by getting shot by his father had this think about how they're gonna make the music they're singing fit in with their spirituality, because they're singing
about secular stuff.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what's so funny about that. See, in Virginia, they used to play this music in the church. it was, and especially at the church I was going to.